do not try anything that we're doing on this episode at home.
We're what you call experts.
Well, there's your problem.
In this special series of MythBusters,
Almost too exciting.
the Dream Team tackles their dream themes.
It's scientific!
Testing myths about everything from electricity to pressure and gravity.
This one hurt a bit.
Shaking down the science of shockwaves, velocity, and impact. With crazy chemistry,
Oh my goodness.
far-out physics,
One for the whole family.
and insane explosions.
Is everybody okay?
Life's burning questions answered. On MythBusters, there's your problem. In this episode, the MythBusters switch on beast mode to unearth the secrets of our animal friends, bears, bulls, and goldfish.
Go on, boys, there you go.
Then they put our own abilities to the test with 3 myths about superhuman capabilities. First, is there anything that repels a bear?
All right, let me paint a picture for you. You want to go enjoy nature, so you pack a picnic lunch.
Got some peanut butter for the kids and pork jerky for Tori and some dried fruit for me. Put it right on top of my salmon.
You leave it in your car and you go for a hike. You come back, the car is decimated because a bear has come by, smelled the food, and torn the car open. How about this? Bacon air freshener? If only you had a bear deterrent. And that's what we're here to test. Homemade bear deterrents.
It's a myth that could save your life, or at least your lunch. Can smells like ammonia and cayenne pepper deter a bear?
First, we need a bear.
So behind me is a horse trailer, but in it is not a horse. It is the star of our test today. His name is Belo. He's an Ursus arctos horribilis. He's a grizzly bear. He stands 7 feet tall, he weighs 700 pounds, and we're about to let him out.
But before we do that, we're going to set up some safety precautions because this bear isn't in a cage or behind a fence. He's just gonna be over here with our car. So we're setting up a hot wire that's going to go around the perimeter of where he's going to stay.
Hopefully stay, because Belo is big, scary big. He may have arrived in a trailer, but there's nothing Hollywood about 300 kilograms of muscle, teeth, and claws.
He keys off of our behavior. So for our own safety, we have to behave in a certain way so as not to provoke the bear. And that includes staying within a group.
Oh my God, that is a freaking grizzly bear.
You can look at the bear, but don't look at the bear, or else the bear's gonna be like, what? And look back at you. And finally, the #1 rule, no running. And if we stick to all these things, everything should be fine, right?
I'm not too worried about it because I'm pretty sure I can outrun you too. Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't have to outrun the bear, I just have to outrun you guys.
So will the control test provide a benchmark comparison? Belo has to smell the food and rip into the car to get to it. If successful, the team can reset and see if their deterrents hamper the grizzly from getting to the hamper.
Belo is a healthy-sized bear. Now, he went straight for the water, sat down, cooled off, enjoyed himself a little.
He's going for the van.
And then he went over to the car, kind of sniffed it out. He could tell there was, maybe some food in there. And he decides to inspect the car a little bit, circles it, knocks over a camera or two. Then, instead of just opening the car like a can opener,
Looks like he's trying to open the door.
we have a smart bear here. He knows to get to his picnic basket. He can just open it with the handles. Oh!
He's got the door open.
He didn't have to rip open the car. He knows how to use a handle.
Oh, did you see that? He just flipped the handle open.
Yeah, that is one smart grizzly bear.
Then tears open our cooler, pulling the lid off, tearing into it, and then proceeds to, give the car a little bit of a readjustment. I think it's definitely going to need a little upholstery fixing at this point.
He's going for the camera. That's gonna be a great shot.
Belo has made a mess of the car and the cameras and made short work of the team's post-hike lunch. And that all adds up to a perfect control test.
Okay, so now he knows that there's food in the van. So we set up the van again with the same situation, but with deterrents, and see if it'll keep him away.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to find anything that stops this bear.
First, we have to get him out of the van.
Not it.
So this is what happens when you don't have a deterrent. Which brings us to our first deterrent, ammonia-soaked rags.
It's strong scent-based theory, but has it got any chance of success?
Now, I don't know if it's the scent of the ammonia that's covering the scent of the food or just the irritation of the actual ammonia. Kind of like we're decorating a Christmas tree. I mean, I know as I was pouring the ammonia on, my eyes were burning, I couldn't breathe, and right now I can't smell anything. Now remember though, bears smell 75 times better than a German Shepherd, so I have a feeling this one's gonna work.
Tori's confident because with the lunch repacked and reloaded, the pungent aroma of ammonia will surely put the bear off his food and cause him to steer clear of the car.
All right, time to bring out the bear.
You know, I actually predict that the ammonia is not gonna work because the ammonia smells a little bit like urine to me, which is something that wouldn't put them off. I think he's just still gonna open that door, be like, there's food in there, let me get these urine-y, smelly rags out of the way.
After a confident swagger, it's a prediction proven with one nonchalant flick of a meaty paw. And this time, he pops open the front door.
So he's just
Oh my
opened
God.
the door with the soaked rags. The ammonia has done nothing to keep that bear from the van.
He opened the door. How's a bear not open doors?
He's smarter than the average bear. But the point is, was he put off by the deterrent?
So there are two interesting things that I noticed about this test. The ammonia-soaked rags did not deter the bear at all. Second thing, when you think bear, you think destruction. But in this case, the bear actually has amazing dexterity, enough dexterity to open a door and pull a cooler out. I'd have to say, as far as ammonia-soaked rags go, this one's busted.
Belo agrees, and while he enjoys the fruits, well, peanut butter, of his car-opening labor back in his trailer, the team resets the cooler for their final attempt at a nasal knockback.
Next up, cayenne pepper.
Cayenne pepper, a tasty condiment in Cajun cooking,
I don't know if it's gonna repel a bear, but it's working on me.
but also a key ingredient in pepper spray.
Okay, the bear's about to come out.
Here he comes, 700 pounds of lumbering, powerful, unstoppable appetite. Or is he? His behavior is diverging from the two previous tests. He's clearly hesitating.
Look, he's sort of like sniffing the air.
Could this be the one?
Wow, the cayenne pepper looks like it's actually keeping the bear away from the van.
Yeah, you know, in the other test, he went straight to the van, sniffed around, and went in. This time, he's just kind of avoiding it.
And not just avoiding the van. Out of view on the far side of the vehicle,
Oh my gosh.
700 pounds of claw, teeth, and fur breaches the hot wire.
That is supposed to be like the ultimate barrier for him.
Rather than go near the car peppered with pepper. But with some encouragement, in the form of a treat or 10, he's brought back within the safe perimeter.
We have a confirmed for bear repellent.
That works. That's awesome.
From now on, when I'm camping in bear-infested woods, I'm gonna bring a giant jug of cayenne pepper.
Yeah, like you go camping.
Yep, the capsaicin within the pepper was just too much for Belo's hypersensitive nose. He found it unbearable. Whew. Been trying to squeeze that one in for a while now. The guys stopped a bear eating their lunch at last, but it's a little on the peppery side, so they're bailing on Belo and off to get a burger, leaving this myth confirmed. Up next, the guys are taking a myth by the horns.
Well, now that we have access to a whole herd of angry bulls, there's a saying I've always wanted to test.
What's up?
Well, you know how they say Tori is like a bull in a china shop?
Yes.
I want to know what's going to happen if we actually put a bull in a china shop.
You mean, is it gonna be just dish carnage?
Yeah.
According to the myth, a bull, if let loose in a china shop, would make a real mess.
Grandma?
Back at HQ, with the help of the fast-forward button, Carrie marks up some bull-friendly foam shelves.
Now, I'm pretty sure that this foam board is not going to hurt the bulls. But to make 100% certain, I want to test to make sure they don't get harmed. Did it hurt the bull?
I'm okay. I think the bull's gonna be fine.
Tori's unharmed, and the bulls should be too. So it's off to a ranch to set up a china shop inside a bullpen.
This one looks like it's ready to go without the bull.
That's the worst one.
With the china stacked precariously and the 1,000-pound bulls raring to go, the team is looking forward to confirming the age-old adage. In fact, Carrie is expecting some puntastic carnage.
Get it? Like wacky? Like wacky, but wacky?
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I get
The
it.
H is invisible. Yeah, I'm sorry if my jokes are a little too intellectual for all you all to get.
Surely we're about to witness the most predictable outcome in MythBuster history. Bovine bedlam and a whole heap of cracked crockery.
Oh, dang! Here comes the bull. Oh, look, he's totally avoiding all the china.
He's just
Oh, nope. Nope.
No,
He's actually doing a lot better than I thought he would.
absolutely.
Come over here.
Yeah,
Come on.
come. He's browsing.
He's truly browsing. He likes what he sees.
So the first guy has let the team down. They were expecting the bull in a china shop to go into full beast mode.
Whoa, he's getting right through the shelves without knocking over a single piece.
That was cool.
Even when they up the ante,
2 bulls in a china shop.
the expected carnage is distinctly underwhelming.
Look at that. They're very careful of the break-in china.
We've tried actual bulls in our mock china shop, and I have to say I am really surprised at how nimble they are. They're almost daintily avoiding the shelves that we've set up.
They just don't want to break the china.
Check this out. You know what? I didn't even think I could run that fast in the china shop. Wow.
This is ridiculous.
Like all great MythBuster stories, it's the ones that defy expectations that give the team the greatest pleasure. They came here with a bullish prediction of crockery carnage, but they got a bull ballet.
That was nothing like I imagined it would be.
In fact, I think we're gonna have to just admit it. It's a stupid saying. I'm never gonna use it again. Bull in a china shop busted.
Busted.
Yeah, it's busted.
I think there's a gravy boat over there I want.
Got it. Yeah!
Next, does a goldfish really have a 3-second memory?
So what we really want to test here is what is the memory span of the average goldfish?
Well, what I thought we'd do is build a maze. And the goldfish will have to be taught how to make it through the maze. And if they can remember that, we'll know a little bit more of how smart they are.
First, they need some goldfish and some goldfish keeping equipment.
Have you heard of the myth that goldfish only have 3 seconds of memory?
Yes, I have. Their brains are pretty small, and it's about 2% of their body weight, so you can figure that they're not going to have too much of a memory.
Not surprisingly, Adam quickly finds something that will keep him happy.
I think this is definitely the one for me, Jimmy. This is deep sea diver with the shark.
But let's not forget what the goldfish need.
This is a 38-gallon. I have the best food for goldfish. You make sure that you have a good water conditioner.
Those are perfect. What do we need, 10 of those?
Yeah, 5.
5 in each tank?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the easiest sale Steve's ever made. 2 tanks, some goldfish, and enough supplies to feed a whale. Back in the shop, Jamie and Adam decide 45 days should be enough time to train the fish and test the myth. They've each got a tank, and each will devise their own training method. The competition is going to be fierce.
I think that I shall be the best trainer, purely because of the fact that training animals requires, above all, consistency. Adam is not a very consistent person.
Turns out Jamie has another advantage. He used to own a pet shop, and he knows his fish.
In addition to his time in the Special Forces and being the international whist champion and even being a lion owner, Jamie's probably one of only a handful of people in the world who's actually trained a goldfish to ring a bell. I don't have anything like that kind of pedigree with goldfish training regiments. Oh, look at that.
As they each set up their obstacle course, the guys keep their training methods secret from each other. Jamie is making bright plastic holes, which he hopes will be to the fish's liking.
I'm gonna get them used to taking their food out of the middle of the hole by making this colorful hole that they'll easily recognize that has some mesh suspended in the middle of it that will put the food in.
Jamie installs his ingenious system, and the first signs are promising.
I saw one come down out of the hole. Maybe they'll start to look around and eventually find it. There we go, you're looking at it. He's looking at it, he's trying to eat it. Oh my God, he's taking the bait, almost. We have to identify the smart ones.
Meanwhile, Adam is taking a more zen approach. He's trying to be the goldfish, to understand their needs. He has an idea. Instead of using the store-bought tank dividers, Adam is making his own out of plastic. He'll custom make the course based on his intuitive connection with fish psyche.
If I get them comfortable with the fact that they can go through, perhaps they'll understand that there is a way to get there. Because all they see is just this black ring that's exposed. They don't know that they can actually go and swim around over there.
So they have their strategies, and the battle of the fish tanks is on. Adam's clear dividers versus Jamie's gaudy plastic. 8 days later, Jamie's fish are looking happy, healthy, and apparently pretty smart.
They seem to know automatically where the food is. I would say that even now, even though we haven't got them to go really through anything in terms of a maze as such, that the myth is busted because they clearly recognize either me or the location where the food is being delivered. They are clearly capable of some sort of minimal memory.
Oh, look, they're even growing little Jamie mustaches now. They're like, oh, thanks for the food every morning.
But by the almost 6-week mark, Jamie's technique is seeming to pay even more dividends. He's been associating orange plastic with food, and it's working.
Oh, look, they see the orange thing. They're wanting to go for it.
Jamie appears to have science on his side. Studies have shown that goldfish repeatedly respond to color for food rewards. In other words, they seem to have memory longer than 3 seconds. Meanwhile, Camp Savage is sailing stormier seas, being unfairly dealt what he says are stupider fish.
And they just like, bang their heads in the corner over here.
The first to get fish through their maze wins and busts the myth.
Time this, starting now.
They're off and racing.
Hey, guys. Here's your food.
Go on, boys, there you go.
Jamie's school has learned its lessons well. But Adam's guys haven't done their homework.
I think it's quite obvious what's happening, or not happening. They seem to be fascinated with their reflection in the other end of the tank.
Jamie's crew is halfway through and going swimmingly.
You know you want it. Look at them. They're frantic to get through there.
Maybe I should give them a compass.
Oh. Adam gets a lucky break. They're through the first barrier, but not for long.
Oh, no, not back.
There's no backtracking in Jamie's tank. The first fish is through.
1 minute.
The rest of the gang isn't far behind, except one.
Interesting to note, there's one fish that is the stupidest one. His little red head and back, and he's the skinniest.
Adam apparently has 2 skinny fish.
I don't understand the total ignorance of this panel. It's like this wall doesn't even exist for him.
I would say that without a doubt, 1 minute to make it through the maze is a lot quicker than random.
Team Adam's time?
9 minutes.
By day 43 of the test, Adam has begun to distance himself from responsibility.
Listen, I don't have any work to do on this experiment. These fish have a lot of work to do. I'm just giving them the framework with which to prove themselves for all goldfish kind.
Adam just got stupid fish. What are you gonna do?
All right, boys, you ready?
Meanwhile, Jamie's A students are lining up at the gate.
They're looking perky this morning. He's going for it.
The starting gun is sounded. Jamie's looking to go under 60 seconds.
Oh. Yay, that was, let's see, 25 seconds. It's a record. They were like, definitely, way to go, guys.
Mine are eating their own poo.
Well, they seem healthy for all that.
I know that everyone's gonna take me to task for wasting these fish's time. Hey, they're both in the second chamber, though. Oh, they go back.
Can they remember for 3 seconds? I'd wager you bet, and a lot more.
George Barlow from the University of California, Berkeley, is a professor of integrated biology and a big fan of goldfish.
I guess there's some debate about this. Does conditioned behavior actually qualify as memory?
Sure. Any task that you can, in quotes, teach to an animal and then retest later, you have a very objective way of evaluating whether it remembered it. From what you've told me, I would say, yeah, you've blown away the myth that they can only remember for 3 seconds.
And one of the purported reasons behind the myth is so that people who keep goldfish in small bowls don't feel so bad. Do you think that it's actually cruel to keep goldfish in a bowl like that?
Well, we'll never know. Adolf Hitler thought it was cruel to keep goldfish in a bowl because there was no corner for them in which to hide, and had a law made prohibiting the use of bowls for goldfish. But I think in general, just an awful lot of fish kept in aquaria are bored.
Okay, guys. Are you awake this morning?
Jamie is confident his fish are drawing on all their memory cells. It's the final day, day 45. Will they find their food faster?
Is that a go?
Okay, that's a go.
All right, timer's starting.
There we go. We're going through 1.
Oh.
Now go back through. Oh, they're looking like they're gonna do it.
20 seconds.
Oh, they've lost the record.
25 seconds.
There we go. Almost.
35 seconds. Come on, handsome. Here it comes.
There we go.
Not bad at all. 40
seconds. I think that, judging by what I'm seeing, that's probably the threshold, plus or minus 30 seconds to get through. And 30 seconds, I think, is pretty good to make it through 4 holes. It's clear that they've learned, and it's clear that they do, in fact, have a memory longer than 3 seconds.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm impressed how fast that is. You know, my fish, on average, sort of randomly take between like 3 and 20 minutes to get to their food. I mean, you guys definitely know what's going on. Myth busted. All right. Good night, fish.
Now that we've cast new light on animal capabilities, it's time to take a look closer to home. With 3 surprising investigations into the upper limits of human ability. First, the myth of the monk magic throw.
Oh yeah, I've seen this. The monks are standing fairly close to the glass, maybe 3 or 4 feet away, and they have these fairly heavy needles. They throw them in the glass without shattering it.
Do they really say,
No, I just made that up.
Why don't we do this? Let's just take regular window glass, which is about 1/8 inch thick, and we just start throwing needles at it, and we'll see if we can punch a hole through it. It might just shatter or bounce off.
Let's hope they're right on point with this one. Stepping up to the practice plate, after a few bounce backs, Carrie gets into the swing of things and records a top arm speed of 28 miles an hour.
eh? Nobody saw it?
Grant has more grunts at 38 miles an hour, while Tenacious T comes out on top. with a ninja needle speed of 47 miles per hour. But could even their top needle speed really have enough pressure behind it to punch through glass? Time to channel their chi with force. Taking aim is the precision pin work of Killer Carry.
Putting a hole in 1/8-inch glass.
Let's see if you can punch a hole through it with the needle. Oh, looks like the window got its revenge.
In take one, the needle just didn't have the power to pierce the pane. Trouble is, neither does 2, 3, or 4.
I just don't have the speed to actually penetrate the glass.
But can inimitable Imahara inject enough speed for a hole-in-one?
This seems a little more dangerous than I thought.
Why? Because he's bleeding?
Yeah.
Despite a 10-mile-an-hour increase on carry, Grant's not smashing any superhuman feats just yet. Enter Tenacious T. He has a significant and sizable 40% more kinetic energy to bring to the party.
Whoa!
Dude, you're making good contact.
It's the hardest throw yet.
Boost!
So far, the team isn't showing any superhuman capabilities of piercing glass. The only thing busted around here is the myth. But all is not lost.
Problem is the speed of the needle. We need to bring somebody in who can throw objects much faster than us.
Enter pitch-perfect baseballer Matt Caine. If anyone can ramp up the velocity, it's Cannon Arm Caine with his frighteningly fast fastball.
But first, we're gonna find out how fast he can throw. So we're gonna have a little matchup. Tori's gonna throw a baseball, then Matt Caine's gonna throw a baseball. I'm going to measure it with the speed gun, and then we're all gonna laugh at Tori.
Yep, to prove they've got the best in the business,
Gotta warm up a little bit here.
Tori and Matt are going to have a little head-to-head.
Go, Tori!
Wow, that was scorching hot.
A scorching hot 48 miles an hour.
All right, so what do you think? Think I got a shot?
No.
Let's see what the Cannon Arm is capable of.
Oh my God, all right, what did he get?
Do you want me to say this out loud, or is this gonna diminish you as a man? How do you feel about 92?
Wow, all right, 92. Well, I think you're ready to start throwing needles.
I think we can move on.
And once the cannon's got his ammunition, it's all systems throw.
Looks like it's chipping.
Yeah, I think that was my best shot right there.
They're bent. That just shows how much energy is actually going into that needle and trying to penetrate that glass.
I wish that had been the one.
Oh my God!
Wow is right. With the reduced mass of the needle compared to a baseball, Matt manages to unleash a 113-mile-an-hour missile that takes a chip off the old block, but still fails to fly through. Which means it's time to trim the fat.
Okay, so this is 1/16-inch glass. Now, because it's thinner, it reduces the amount of energy required to punch through. But the trade-off is that instead of punching a hole through it, it may shatter completely.
All right, Matt, remember all your Shaolin training. I want you to just punch a hole right through that glass.
Once again, Matt launches needle after needle with only a divot for his efforts.
That was a good one.
That sounded good.
Did he leave a little nick?
Yeah.
But on throw 8, there's finally a shatter to celebrate.
What the heck happened there?
The needle shattered.
Needle shattered. You shattered on the needle. You are a Shaolin monk.
Amazingly, Matt has busted the steel needle, but left the glass utterly untouched, which doesn't bode well for the myth.
We're moving on to 1/32. Now, this is actually hard to find. You have to find this in an antique store. It's very thin glass. If he can make it through here, I think it's still plausible.
Indeed, but the problem here is that this glass is so fragile, it may sooner get smashed than speared.
You broke the glass with a needle. That's insane.
Yes, but it didn't exactly happen like the monk did in the video. It's just the glass is so fragile.
So at this point, it doesn't go through, it just smashes the glass.
Yeah. In order for us to get the needle to punch a clean hole, we're gonna have to get these needles traveling a lot faster.
All right, well, this is busted for a human, but amazing achievement.
Nice work.
Pretty fun.
So if the cannon arm can't do it, what now?
Now, we're gonna try something with even more power, an air rifle.
The mechanical force of the air rifle will be able to shoot out the needle at 180 miles an hour.
This is 1/8" glass with the needle and air rifle. Here we go in 3, 2, 1.
Let's see what that did. That looked like a nice hit.
But even this faster mechanical speed still couldn't pierce through. So they pumped the velocity up to 160 miles per hour.
Is that a divot?
It is.
The divot damage is promising. So for the final time, they see what a maximum speed of 180 miles an hour can do to the glass.
1.
That looked good!
It punched a perfect hole just like the Shaolin monk did.
Dude, so that's what it takes. Incredible speed.
A full 70 miles an hour faster than Matt's super fast pitch. So with the physics laid bare, it seems there's more than meets the eye to this mythical monk magic.
I'm gonna say this is busted still, because I just don't think that any human is gonna be able to do that.
Totally busted.
Next, can you fight fire with the human voice? This supersonic myth has Jamie more than suspect.
What's the myth?
Quite simply, it's that you can extinguish a fire using only the power of a human voice.
You're making that up.
I am not. It actually comes from an early 20th century naturalist named Charles Kellogg.
He claimed he could do this not with his exhaled breath, but with the sound waves themselves. As sound travels through the air, it creates pressure waves. These pressure waves can cause air molecules to vibrate, and if they vibrate enough, the flame can apparently be blown out. As the boys researched Kellogg's demonstration setup, they realized Kellogg had something more specific at play in the form of a sensitive flame. It's vastly different from a regular fire, but because this is what Kellogg sang at, the first step is for Adam to rig up one of his own.
We got a sensitive flame! There's no way the air from my breath is affecting that flame inside the glass. We've got a sensitive flame.
Yeah! I think it's doing it over here as well.
You can clearly see the flame reacting to Jamie and Adam's voices.
Awesome.
But what exactly is going on?
What I have here are the rudiments of Kellogg's exact experimental setup for using his voice to extinguish fire. It consists of gas feeding into a chamber that has a membrane on it. And the membrane moves in relation to the sound in the room and affects the pressure of the fire. You can see as I'm talking, the fire is moving, and it doesn't have to do with my breath, it has to do with the sound of my voice.
With the sensitive flame ready for testing, what about Kellogg's voice?
His human voice was analyzed and found to be normal under 4,000 hertz. However, his bird voice soared into the inaudible above 14,000 hertz. His voice reputedly had a range of 12 1/2 octaves, while the normal range of a singing voice is just 2 1/2. We will see. Kellogg's bird voice is astonishing. I don't care whether he's whistling or grabbing his neck and doing this or whatever. That it comes out of a person is amazing.
The high frequency of Kellogg's bird voice makes the flame go ballistic, but extinguished, it ain't.
That's kind of spooky, actually.
Isn't it? There's a specific, like, bird call of Kellogg's that makes the flame, I think, do the largest sort of differential dance, like bango, 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 like that.
With the flame still not budging, Adam tries his best canine call.
I'm going to try to put this flame out using my dog voice. No, my dog voice doesn't work.
But Roger and his high-tech tone generator might. It can reach any frequency within any conceivable range. even the full vocal range of Kellogg's bird voice. So how does frequency come into play? Well, sound is vibrations traveling through the air in waves. Its frequency is a measure of how many times the sound wave vibrates in 1 second. The higher the frequency, the higher the pitch. Kellogg's bird voice could supposedly reach a barely audible frequency of 14,000 hertz, something the tone generator can match.
I'd love to sweep all the way up through and into the inaudible range, because again, we keep on seeing in all the material Kellogg said that he thought it was the high frequency that affected the flame more than low frequency.
Acoustician Roger cuts straight to the chase and tunes into 14,000 hertz, but the flame keeps burning bright.
So, work down?
And when the team decides to change tactic and lower the frequency,
Oh, oh! Hey! What was that at?
at 166 hertz, the opposite end of the spectrum to Kellogg, the sensitive flame does go silent. But Adam's not entirely satisfied.
This is a rig that utilizes fire, it's true, but I can put this fire out by doing that. That's the rig failing to maintain a fire. That's not a fire being extinguished. And I think that's a really key difference. What I'd like to do now that I've got all this equipment set up is just put a candle in front of the speaker and see what kind of responses I get out of it.
With the simple household candle burning, this time they start with a low frequency range. So, under amplification, at low frequencies from a tone generator, a flame can be extinguished with sound. The low-pitched sound sends out a pressure wave which vibrates the air so much that the flame gets snuffed out.
My question now would be, could you and I replicate that with our voices? Can we pipe our voices through this thing?
Yeah. Let's see what these songbirds can do. Adam and Jamie step up to the mic with vocals that are in a slightly different range to Kellogg's bird voice. To give this myth another verse, they bring in voices, a little easier on the ear. And so begins the Capella Candle Challenge.
Whenever you're ready, take it away and try and put out that candle.
Sure, they can hold a harmony, but are the Capella capabilities strong enough to fight fire?
One of you hit a really specific note.
So with a bit of extra buzz from the basses traveling through the amp, and incredibly, these sound waves, under amplification, put out the naked flame. Now the Capella singer's buzz has got Adam's mind buzzing for a bigger flame and bigger speakers for an even bigger air current.
This is perfect for any home theater system.
Let's see if the wind current from a human voice is strong enough to extinguish the flame. Bassist Jonathan booms out the buzz. At a whopping 146 decibels, this bassist buzz was just no match for the bigger burn. So it's back to the tone machine to try and wrap this myth up. Roger cranks up the frequency to a bone-jarring, painfully loud 105 decibels. But even that can't put out the fire.
There's stuff falling off of the ceiling.
So they change tack on the stack.
We're gonna give it one last shot.
Crank up to a room-shaking 149 decibels.
Oh my God.
And achieve a world first. No one has ever put out a fire of this size with sound until now.
This is yet another in a long line of cases in which I completely didn't expect the result we got at the very end of the day. Everything we'd done up until we got that flame to go out was telling me not gonna happen. Difference between a candle and a real fire is significant, and we were not gonna get any positive results, and we did. That's stunning. I love being wrong.
Are we ready to call this one?
I think based on what we've gotten so far, yeah. I think Charles Kellogg's original claim, the source of our myth, that you can put out a fire with an unamplified human voice, is totally busted.
And yet, like any good myth, there is an element of truth here.
I don't feel like we can let this one rest here.
Are you ready for an explosive twist?
Now we're going with high explosives. The throughput here, the key point that travels through all these experiments, is attempting to use waves, either sound waves or shock waves, to put out fire.
It's that push, that immense pressure wave, that supposedly should be able to extinguish the flame. Okay, we know this has nothing to do with human ability anymore. But you know, the guys can't resist the opportunity to blow stuff up.
Electric's good to go.
So let's blast this myth into oblivion.
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
This is Can We Put Out a Fire with High Explosives? 3, 2, 1, go.
There it
We got
is.
fire.
Okay.
Taking out spark.
Spark
Putting
off.
explosives into position. It's in. And firing. Wow! How that was awesome! Woo!
Talk about fighting fire with fire. The explosive shockwaves completely put out the fire.
The thing we were looking for here is, did the explosive create a pressure wave that removed the oxygen from the flame and cut it off? And we got that. We saw it. It put the fire out.
Yup, super explosive shockwaves may be able to fight fires, but the unamplified human voice? That myth is well and truly extinguished. Can a ninja really throw a devastating punch from 1 inch away?
Next.
Next is the Ninja 1-inch punch.
Made famous by the legendary Bruce Lee.
Exactly the one. The myth is that in the right hands, a ninja whose fist is only this far away can still floor an opponent. And we're in luck because our ninja has been trained in the 1-inch punch by one of Bruce Lee's own students.
Enter the arrow catcher. Ninja Anthony Kelly, with more world records than he can punch a fist at, the fast flexions of this shadow warrior are spot on for this close combat test. While our Bruce Lee protege warms up, Adam and Jamie want to measure how hard a normal punch is. So Jamie's agreed to thump Adam and then see how his full-force punch stacks up against the ninja's 1-inch wonder.
That's why I'm wearing this big red man suit. Then we've got a load plate, and then we've got some padding on the load plate to protect Jamie's sensitive hands, because in his spare time, he's a hand model.
Whoops.
Oh, there he is.
Let's see what sort of punch this hand model is capable of. And if he's hiding some secret super ninja skills as well.
Yeah, full force punch.
Jamie doesn't hold back.
What was the rating?
325 pounds.
At 325 pounds, if Jamie's fist had been delivered to Adam's jaw, it'd be a knockout.
Ow.
With their baseline set, enter Ninja Anthony Kelly. How many pounds of punch can he deliver from only 1 inch away?
Okay, Adam, are you ready?
Give it everything you've got. Dennis, what was the reading?
153.
That's half of what Jamie racked up at full throttle.
But still, not hugely powerful.
Yeah, but is the 1-inch punch actually a weapon in the ninja's arsenal?
Yes, it is, but more common is the 3-inch power punch. Let me demonstrate that for you. Okay, it goes like this. The hand rolls in and we hit here like so.
Okay. I'm ready if you are.
Okay.
210 pounds.
210.
Now we're getting better.
The high speed shows the force of the punch, and at 2/3 the power of Jamie's knockout blow, this 3-inch punch would more than likely floor an opponent. But the ninja says 1- and 3-inch punches are rarely used on their own. They're just part of the grab bag of precision punching capabilities ninjas have at their fingertips.
Yeah, wow.
Look at that.
It's on wooden boards that ninjas really show their superhuman ability. Ninja Anthony's expert exertion breaks the last of 3 boards, leaving the first 2 intact. Imagine being on the receiving end of this short but powerful blow. And that was one punch
No more of that.
even Jamie wasn't capable of.
Yo, I don't see any damage, Jamie. Except to you. How are we gonna call the 1-inch punch?
I'd have to say it's plausible. While it'll never be as powerful as a full-on punch, Anthony was actually able to generate an impressive amount of force at that range.
I agree. You know, with the proper amount of training and catching your opponent off guard, you could totally knock someone down with what he did. I say plausible.
Plausible.